Hello everyone, this is Mr. Civ 5 again, and this is going to be the combat tutorial video for Civilization 5. I did want to talk about combat in my last video, in my mid-game tutorial, but it was just so long, there was so much to cover, couldn't fit it in, and that video is already an hour long, so yeah, I decided to make a separate video for combat. And this is still part of the basics tutorial video series, so if you're a new player to Civilization, you'll really want to watch this. If you're an old player of Civ, if you've played Civilization 4 for years, as I did, this is still kind of interesting because they changed the combat system quite a bit in Civ 5. So you'll probably learn, if you haven't played the game yet, you'll probably learn quite a bit from this video. And again, I have a little cue card right here with me because there's, again, so much to go over. But combat is a lot more interesting than just talking about the economy. So I'm still playing my game as the Japanese in my Pangaea map with the Ottomans here and the Romans and the French down here who are they're about to be on the receiving end of an attack by myself. And yeah, just a few turns later than the last video because I did want to pump out a couple more samurai, did want to get my troops fully in place, I did wanted to research physics to upgrade my catapult to a trebuchet, which is even more effective, and I'm now researching compass because it's blocking me. So this is going to be a little more action-packed than usual, although I will start with something else. I don't want to get into combat right away. I want to start by talking about experience and promotions, which are a big part of Civ 5's combat system. Now the system is fairly similar to Civ 4, so if you played Civ 4, this is going to be old hat. But if you've played the game at all, even if you're a new player, you'll have noticed that your units, when they fight, even when they attack or when they defend, they receive experience, and that experience, once it accrues, eventually leads to the unit being able to receive a promotion. So the experience is basically just a measure of how experience in combat your unit is. And if you hover here, if you put your cursor over the unit's portrait, you'll get an indication of the unit's level and of how much experience it has, what the next experience milestone is, because the experience kind of works a little bit like the culture milestone and like the bonus happiness and golden ages, although I'm still in a golden age, haha, lucky me, although I don't really have that much gold to show for it because I'm spending it all. So experience is just gained by fighting. It's tracked on a unit per unit basis, although there is a global pool of experience that I'll show you in a minute for spawning great generals. And so a unit accrues experience by fighting, and eventually once it reaches milestones, it can unlock promotions. The milestones, by the way, are pretty simple. The first milestone is a 10 experience, so it takes you 10 experience to get to it. After that, it takes you 10 more experience to reach the next milestone every time. So for the second milestone, it takes you 20 experience to reach it, so it's 10 plus 20 at 30, which is what it says here, and then the third milestone is at 60, because it's 30 plus 30, which is 20 plus 10, blah, blah, blah. And so every time you reach that milestone, you'll get a little notification here on the right side of the screen, and if you click it, it'll bring you to the unit that has the possibility of picking a promotion. Now, the promotions are a mixed bag, and they're a little different from Civ 4 in that there are no general promotions. In Civ 4, you could just get a promotion that's just plus 10% combat strength, period. And that was a little too good, so they took that promotion out in Civ 5, and you get a lot more specialized promotions in Civ 5. So for example, you can get the Shock series of promotions, which is combat bonus in open terrain, or you can get the Drill promotion, which is the same thing but in rough terrain. So there's no plus 20% combat strength all the time, it's just either in rough or in open terrain. Although if you get multiple promotions, you can get a level in each, and then you'll have plus 20% wherever you fight. You also have some miscellaneous promotions like Medic, which is 1 additional HP per turn when it's healing, and plus 1 to any units healing around it. That's a great promotion. There's also Cover, which gives you more defense against ranged attacks, Amphibious. So there's really a huge selection. If you go into Civilopedia, you can actually have a look at them. Somewhere, promotions, there we go. So you've got promotions for different unit types. I'm going to go into unit types in just a bit, but there's quite a lot of them, and they're all positives. Though that's the one thing that you really should remember, is that promotions are always positives. There's no downsides to them, so make sure that you pick them when it's time for them, because there's one strategy which I'm actually using right now with this unit, which is called holding promotions, and that right now I don't really know what this unit's going to have to fight. Let's say there's a barbarian that comes out here, there's a village, an encampment that spawns here, and then there's a barbarian that comes down, and I have to fight the barbarian, but I'm in rough terrain. Let's say right now I select shock as my promotion, because my promotion's available. It's not really going to help me if I fight that barbarian. So one strategy that a lot of players do in Civ is just not select a promotion when it becomes available, and instead wait until your unit has to fight, and then select a promotion that will make it perform well in that fight. So for example, if I have to attack a unit in open terrain, I hold my promotion, and once I'm ready to attack, I pick shock, because that's the one that gives me a bonus in open terrain, and then I attack. Of course, if you get attacked before you select your promotion, then that's kind of a downside, but usually, against the AI, you tend to be on the offensive more than on the defensive. So that's it. Go have a look at the promotions in the Civilopedia if you want to read through all of them. They're very interesting. They're very good. And I did say that there was a common experience pool somewhere, and it is here. If you click on additional information on the military overview, first of all, you get a list of all your army here, including the ones that have a promotion available to them. But also you have down here this little meter, which reads Great General Progress, and it says that progress towards the next Great General is based on the XP earned by units in combat. So as your units gain XP by fighting or either attacking or defending, that fills this meter, and once that meter is full, you get a Great General at your capital. And a Great General is a great person. It's a non-combat unit that has a few abilities. I'm going to go into them right now. I don't want to talk about all great people right now, but I will go into the Great General because I do have one here, who's actually Timer, I don't know. And so Great Generals are a non-military unit. They, despite their name, I know it sounds kind of weird, but they are a non-military unit, so you can stack them with military units, and you should, or keep them far from other military units, because otherwise they're going to get attacked, and if they get attacked, you lose them. And they have a couple of abilities, which are kind of the same type as most other great people. The first ability they have is to start a golden age. I won't really get into that right now because that's not combat focused. I'll get into that in the next video. They can create a special improvement on their tile, which in their case is a citadel, which is a great building for defending something like a choke point, or any place where you expect the enemy to come out and try to attack you. If you build a citadel there and you put a unit defending in it, it'll double the combat strength of that unit, first of all, when it gets attacked, and any unit that ends its turn next to the citadel is going to take 3 hit points of damage. That's a lot. That's very, very good. If you have a narrow choke point, kind of like here, there's a reason I built Tokyo here, because I didn't want anyone to come up, this way here or even this way here. If I were to build a citadel over here or maybe over here, if I take out the Romans or something, that citadel here would be nearly impregnable, because first of all it's on a hill, so it's getting a defensive bonus, and then it's going to give a further defensive bonus to the unit stationed and defending. So that this place here would require a huge army, a lot of firepower to go through this. So that's mostly a defensive measure, building a citadel, but it's very good, and it does consume the special, the Great General when you use it, so be careful. If you don't need to use it on the defensive, then don't use it. And the third ability of the Great General, which is not listed here, no, there we go, it's listed here. It's Leadership, which improves the combat effectiveness of nearby units. And so any unit within a 2-tile radius of the Great General receive a plus 25% bonus to their combat strength. Let me see if it's listed here. No, it's not actually listed right now, but when you do mouse over someone else, it will tell you that you have it. So keeping a Great General near your army, kind of protected, with a bodyguard unit guarding it, sort of, gives your army a 25% boost in combat. that is a great advantage. Whenever you're on the offensive or on the defensive, you do want to have a great general kind of boosting your troops' morale and defend and helping them fight better, because, even if you're on an even tech level with someone else, plus 25% combat strength is going to put you way ahead. And if you're even at a disadvantage technology-wise, it might just make up for that difference. So let's see, that's great generals. So I'm going to have one great general here kind of leading my army. I'm going to try to keep my army fairly close together so that every unit benefits from this. Right now you can tell that it's covering this side here, and then it's covering all the way up to here, the leadership aura sort of, so it's covering this flank, and then when I move down here it's going to cover most of my units as I go through this, because this is very narrow terrain, which is going to favor the great general. So let's see, that's the great general. I did want to talk about something else before I move on. Yes, did forget something about experience. I said that you gain experience when you're fighting, either attacking or defending, and that's true. However, fighting or attacking barbarians will not get you past 30 experience, which is a second promotion milestone. So if you're fighting barbarians, it's still a good practice. It'll give you a bit of XP, and it will get you a couple of promotions, but you cannot get beyond 2 promotions fighting just barbarians. But still, they're a good practice. And of course, if you have a barracks in your city, as I have right here, this gives you plus 15 experience right away when you create a unit out of that city. So the samurai, which is going to be done in 2 turns, will come out with already 15 XP, so we'll have 1 promotion right off the bat. And if I had an armory, which I think I can produce right now. Yeah, there we go. Armory stacked with the barrack, it's a further 15 XP, so the unit would come out with 30 XP, 2 promotions. And then there's a third building called the Military Academy, which I do not have access to yet, but that gives yet another 15 XP on top of the other 2 buildings, so that the unit comes out with 45 XP, 2 promotions, well on the way to their third one. So if you're kind of focusing on military takeover of the world, you really want to have those 2 buildings in your unit producing cities. And there is actually a wonder, there we go, the Heroic Epic. I did say that there's no promotion that gives everyone just flat out combat strength bonus, and that's true, because you cannot get that promotion via XP. You have to get it by building a unit in a city that has the Heroic Epic wonder. This is a national wonder, so every civilization can get one of those. I'll get into wonders in the next video. Still haven't talked about them, although they're producing a pretty big part of the gameplay. And so any unit that's trained in the city that has the Heroic Epic, which requires, before it can be built, barracks in every single one of your cities, every unit that comes out of that city is going to have plus 15% combat strength, because it's going to have the morale promotion. So plus 15% from morale from the Heroic Epic, plus 25% from the Great General here. That gives you like 40% bonus combat strength going into a war. Big advantage. Make sure you get one of those. Right now I don't have the barracks count yet to get it, but I probably will once I'm finished with the French. I need one like here, and I need one, I think, in Tokyo and in Kagoshima too. So it's going to take a while. And if you keep expanding, before you can, even if you're building the national wonder as you're building new cities, if you build a new city and you're in the process of building the Heroic Epic, it's going to be cancelled once that city finishes, because then that's another city without a barracks, which is very annoying. I always forget about that. So let's see, that's pretty much it. That's XP, that's promotions. I want to talk very quickly about unit types, because there are different types of units in the game that have access to different types of promotion. And right now I have a few unit types right now in the field, so I'm just going to go over them really quickly. The basic unit type is the melee unit. So a melee unit can only attack when it's directly next to another unit. Pretty simple. It forms kind of the core of your army. Melee units do include later on gunpowder units, so stuff like riflemen and even infantry. Yeah, they're shooting guns, but they're considered melee for the purpose of the game, because they do have to be next to their unit to attack them. So right now samurai are an example, the swordsmen here are another example. Nothing really special about melee units. They get access to, various basic promotions like shock, open, and drill, and they can get medics, the medic promotion and all that.